All right, everybody, welcome back to the GDQ Hotfix. You are watching the Frame Fatales Game of the Month celebration. Welcome to the stream. This weekend, Frame Fatales is celebrating nearly 3 years of their Game of the Month program, and women from the community will be showcasing each game that the FF server has learned since 2019. So with me right now is darksol88. Hi.
Hello.
Yep, welcome.
A bit lately.
You've been doing some things.
You could say that, and I'm kind of doing more things that predominantly coming out like I did.
Well, today we got Kirby Superstar. How are you feeling?
Feeling pretty good about it.
Nice.
Practice went pretty well.
Okay.
We'll see if that means anything. But I'll just go ahead and get into it because I'd like to do something over to silence. So time's gonna start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Best of luck.
Alright, so there's only 4 days you're going to have to go through in this. There's the game has 6, technically 7, that one that unlocks after you quote unquote beat the game. We don't need to do 2 of those because they're kind of just optional. But we do have to clear 4 of them. The first one we go through is this one here called Break Cave Offensive. It's normally a game where there's a bunch of treasures and kind of just a giant maze. If you've played Amazing Mirror, this is kind of the same concept. But we don't really care too much about the treasures. We just want to go fast, and we're going to see if we can... well, that's not it. Ideally, you want a miss for wheel here. It's the only time you actually bother with it. There's just better options. Since I didn't get that, we're going to have to improvise and do a little bit of it slower, but an alternate strat you could use. So for now, we're Rapid Winged. Very good aerial movement. If you've played any of the modern games, this probably needs no introduction. It's amazing. Also, Honey Bonkers and Bide. So yeah, apparently you can just let him fall to his death, and we don't have to worry about that fight. Actually, it's been a little bit since I've had to do these strats. I've been used to the faster ones with wheel, and it saves about 20 to, I think it's like 20 to 40 seconds or so. But that's fine. We're going to switch over to Jet. Jet probably needs a better introduction. Jet is going to be our best friend in this run, and it shows up a lot. It's kind of okay for fighting. The real reason we keep it is for mobility. This thing moves around really good in the air, has lots of different things we can do to kind of deal with some different fights, and actually has better air mobility than Winged does. And Winged is, as I said, Winged is really good. Jet's actually better. Most of the time. There are occasionally exceptions, but for the run, we don't really need anything else.
So we keep this for most of the run?
Yes, although we do have to kind of go out of our way a little bit.
Okay.
Between sub-games, you will start with no ability, and you will have to actually mix for it. Luckily, the mixes aren't too hard to do. It's just a matter of doing them, and provided the luck holds out, we pretty much just need... We'll pretty much use this for most of the remaining sub-games until, like, I think the end of Revenge of Midnight, and Look at Witches has some interesting stuff that we do that lets us do quite a few different things, and we only need Jet for, and we mostly use Jet for movement. Also, I know we've run some RPGs, but I guess we're running another one. This is the computer virus, or as it's called in this version, Battle Windows.
That's amazing, actually.
No, I don't know why they called it that other than just the window format. If I had done wheel, what I would have done for Bonkers is I would have gone underneath them, help her jump off the wheelie that I would have made, and then that would have also just instantly killed the mini-boss, and I would have grabbed Hammer. Hammer makes this fight even faster, because you can just kill things that are in a few hits and one turn kill everything. Because we didn't have that, we couldn't do that. It's kind of still okay. It's still actually a very competent ability for combat, and that kind of works in our favor. need to try to outrun this Minotaur, because the Minotaur is good, but the Minotaur's a little bit slower than our flight. Also, I see someone in chat mentioned it might. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. Also, that was the old tower. Yeah, that's the old tower. In 100%, that area has a ton of treasures and lots of interesting things you have to do to get to all of them. Again, we don't care. We just want to go fast, so we just kind of avoid everything. And yeah, the old tower is literally just see it and that's it. Kind of the same for this. There's these other paths that lead to other treasures, and we don't need those, so we just cut to the chase, go straight to the end. We're actually almost done with GCO here. Just have this room here, lots of screens that try to trip you up. Not too hard to get through if you know where they are. And we're about to fight the final boss of this one. So this is Spam Bam Raj. This is the main way of attacking, is trying to slam this giant rocky fist on you. We just kind of keep our distance, use jet crackers to deal damage. That's the full charge attack here. And only in the JP version can you do this. For whatever reason, that hand is not actually off screen, and jet cracker is one of the few attacks that can still hit it during that. So now we'll just jet our way through that last Minotaur section, go up the elevators to conveniently find our way back where we started. And then we'll actually be out of here. And that was GCO. The very quick version. Also, each of the mini-games have little cutscenes. You can just skip those to start. You'll also notice the game's like, hey, would you like a tutorial? We say no, because one, we don't need them, but two, the game helpfully gives you a small one anyways. Okay, I need to read you. And this is going to start trying to set up one of two jet mixes that we do in the game. So this is one way you can do it. Okay, good, got it first try. The faster way you do that involves a different set of enemies, and jet comes just slightly later into Mix Roulette. Mix Roulette has a set order in most of the games. Usually there's a random starting place. It kind of varies from day to game. For this, I forget how it is for this one. But for that, for the bits I do, jet is roughly 4th on the roulette. If I miss it by 1, I either get wheel or I get hurt. Because for whatever reason, this game decided to also include taking damage, getting invincibility, and dying as potential things you can get in the Mix Roulette. This is the only game that does it, as well as the DS version.
That's a bit terrifying, actually.
Funny enough, Super Ultra uses a lot of candy mixes because of that.
Oh my gosh.
There's certain things you can't do in that version. For example, the quick kill that you can do the mini bosses by going underneath them with either helper jumps or Jet itself also can do it. If you have max power and you jump, Kirby does this little thing where he just kind of rocket jumps into the air. That can also kill mini bosses with one hit if you do it underneath them. We're not sure why it does it. Probably just a weird programming oversight or like a dev thing, but it works for us. We don't have to deal with them generally.
Yeah, one of those like just works.
The other thing you can't do in Ultra, and this is another thing you'll see very soon, is you can't skip mini bosses either. Mini bosses have a set loading zone, and Kirby is able to go over the ceiling. So what you'll see probably in maybe 20 seconds or so, or maybe 10. As soon as they get over there, it stops taking damage. Alright, so I'm gonna just prep this jump, and yeah, there would be a bunkers there, but we just flew over the loading zone and don't care. That's the other thing you can't do on Ultra. So instead, you have to fight the mini bosses. That said, Jet's still one of the best options in that game, and they actually buffed it, so Jet Tracker does even more damage, and doesn't really suffer too much. It's just a different experience. Let's see if I can get through. Okay, that's fine. We kind of need to avoid that tab. That tab does a lot of damage if we're not careful, and Jet Tracker gives us just enough knockback to keep it away from us. Another thing you'll notice is following the full jet dash, you're temporarily invincible for like a very brief moment, and that's why I didn't kind of speed past that one rocky layer. For whatever reason, Kirby just doesn't register on anything. And let's just slime through the lava there. You really don't want to get hit by that. Kind of make our way here. You just go down the ladder, please. Ladders are weird in this game, and that's all I'm gonna say about them. You can also jump up them. So we got another mini boss here. Let's see if we get past it. If we don't, that's gonna be fun. Okay, good. There's a Budsy that would have been there. Thankfully, we don't have to fight that either. If we did, it takes a little bit to kill it. Although it is surprisingly weak to fire for some reason. It's also the only elemental property that this game actually takes advantage of. So if you play this game with like Hammer and like one shot with Hammer Flip is a fire attack in this game, and that's why it one shots them. Also, you probably just saw the ability pop out. That is a 1 in 8 chance, and this should happen at the absolute worst time. Furthermore, in this game, if you lose the ability, this game does not prioritize that star. If you say you inhale it and it's like the other enemy has an ability, the game prioritizes that enemy, not what you just had, and you can just. Never done that with one of the grabs. Okay, I need to try and get through here without these tasks taken Jet, because otherwise this is going to get very awkward very fast. Okay, good. We're not quite out of the woods, but we're definitely in better standing. We have like one more little obstacle course here with now with Scarfies, which like to blow up in your face. And now for the fun part. Uh-oh, I'm way too low. I messed up. So, yeah, there's 3 of these mini-bosses. And I did my inputs kind of slow because of rhythm you want to keep for Jet. And I just slightly messed up, so Kirby lost too much height and ended up in the loaded zone.
Was it, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine, go on.
I was gonna ask, like, did you find this game challenging to learn?
It's kind of easy, but kind of hard depending on what you're trying to do. For stuff like the mini boss dips, they're actually surprisingly tough, especially that last one.
Yeah.
You have to do like 15 and like 12 inputs in a row without messing up your timing. And if you mess one of them up, Kirby can just fall too much and things start getting a little bit hairy after that. Also, Dino Blade here actually has a quick kill, but it's also kind of tricky to reach. Superstars game, I would say, is a lot like a lot of the other Kirby runs. It's easy to learn to a point. There's definitely easier strategy you can do, but it's incredibly hard to actually master, and the top times are absolutely ridiculous, but definitely worth watching.
Have you been speedrunning it for a long time?
I honestly mostly started practicing this back in like January. Any other time, it's been for a couple of community races. or
Okay.
just to see how the game is like.
Is there any reason that you decided to pick Kirby like over another game? Are you a big fan?
I have been playing this series since I was like 5.
Aw, okay, I love that.
Okay, that was a little bit surprisingly harder than it looks. For that one, Jet is 3rd. 4th is damage. It is easy to mess those up if you do the simpler myths in Dynablade. Anyway, to give a little summary of this game, while I have to wait for effectively an auto-scroller now. Meta Knight wants to take over Dreamland because he thinks everyone's too lazy. He means well. Just trying to be extreme about the approach. Kirby didn't like that. They also didn't like that, so they just flunked me off the halberd, no problem. Very easy. So now we're gonna have to make our way back over there. Thankfully we have Jet, so some of that's gonna be easy. We'll just kind of. Okay, okay, so we're getting these inputs a little bit off. That's fine. That's fine. Skip another mini boss that would have been there. Because again, we don't really care about the mini bosses. We don't have to fight them. And Jet just lets us do some absolutely silly shenanigans in dealing with fights for the most part. It's rare that Jet has to fight. It's either, and when it does, it's fine. We just don't want to. So I hope you like auto-scrollers. This here's like pretty much one of the last one. Okay, this game has a few auto-scrollers. It's pretty much the main one you're gonna have to worry about it in.
Well, we did have a couple of people asking about the FF Marathon. So if you didn't know, Frame Fatales is an all-women speedrunning community that also hosts 2 charity events a year. And our winter event, Frost Fatales, and our summer event, Flame Fatales. Our most recent event was Frost Fatales 2022, and we raised over $132K for Malala Fund. So if you are a woman and would like to join the Frame Fatales Discord server, you can go ahead and send a DM to the Frame Fatales Twitter account, or you can check out the Games Done Quick Instagram account and send a message over there.
Good timing on that, because here's Wispy. We're just trying to check him.
Wispy! Oh, he's crying.
That's fine, yeah, there's 2 more. We're also gonna catch them, because we don't really, because Wispy can't really do a whole lot. And 2 Wispies, it's better than 1, but it doesn't really help. Okay, oh, never mind. Never mind, they blast those back out of the air. That's okay, we'll just make our way back. I'm just gonna fly to the top of the screen to be a little bit safer. These enemies are kind of easy to run into. Let's get rid of that attack, because he'll take our ability if we're not careful. Get rid of that one, because he'll also take your ability if you're not careful. I've had that one happen several times. And if you remember me mentioning how Jet can also quick kill mini bosses, yeah, they don't like this. You just jump. And we just send that one bonkers into the other. That does a bunch of damage. We don't have to deal with too much there. You did see more Jet just actually being able to do combat. And now we're just gonna fly up here. I don't actually know why there's that little dip there, but it's nice. Okay. Not how I wanted that to play out, but we're fine. And we'll just take this cannon. For some reason, this cannon decides to be a rocket and fly off. By the way, Dynamite's fine. In fact, she's kind of grateful. We were kind of good to her babies after, you know, everything that happened in Dynablade earlier. Which is one of the reasons you have to do Dynablade. That's how you go through Raging Offensive in this game. Is how you unlock Revenge of Meta Knight. Or rather, you need Dynablade to unlock this game, and then you need this in Raging Offensive for the last game of the last DLC, which is Milky Way Wishes. Let's see if I can get. Okay, we got through that. Just make sure you don't get hit by the pineapple. That. I forget what that enemy's called. I want to see it come back in a later Kirby game. Okay, I messed up my inputs. I thought I was gonna actually have to do a fight there. There's a couple of fights. This is the part where Meta Knight's crew starts progressively freaking out over Kirby just going on an absolute rampage through the halberd. Because now he's back on the ship and he's ready for revenge.
I mean, okay. they threw him off so violently.
Twice.
Yeah.
Kind of wanted that mini boss to go a different direction, but that's fine. It doesn't really make too much of a difference. And things are kind of start being pretty rapid fire from here. So here's combo cannon, the thing that knocked us away last time. And that was combo cannon. So yeah, also you did a lovely close-up of how the ship's fared, which is to say, not very well now. Not very well. Turns out this thing isn't terribly suited for pink puffballs, just going through it. Unfortunately, this is probably the one area where I kind of wish Japanese wasn't faster, because the dialogue that the fruit goes through is actually kind of funny in a lot of places.
What kind of things do they say?
It's pretty much just commenting on what's going on. And some of the stuff is humorous. There's also little extras you can find. For example, one of the chapters, that's what these stages are called. There's a room you go to that has like a tomato stash, and there's like an actual comment of like Kirby finding it.
That's
or this
one
here where you just blow up like most of the wing and do approximately 74% damage. That's what that message actually says. And now we're just going underneath, and we're going to start doing that to the other side. They're also commented about having another chance at using Heavy Lobster, which you're going to see right now. So this is another little small auto-scroller. You do need to be careful. It's very easy to just move the wrong way and then get squished. By the way, Heavy Lobster is totally destroying the ship for us, so it wasn't just Kirby they had to worry about. It was their own creation. That's what the meta axe is kind of frightened over. while Captain Vol, that's the other bird, the vulture, his just sounded like, yeah, that's fine, just keep going.
It'll be fine.
Pretty much. Unfortunately, we're just gonna keep doing this. Okay, good. That can do 1 or 2 attacks. It either fires like a small version of itself, or it does fire. Did I hit A fast enough for what I needed to do there? No, I did not. So we try to hit A during the fade out. If you do it completely right, you start summoning the helper, but not enough to actually do so, and the game just deletes your ability. If you don't, you'll either get nothing, which is what just happened, or you get half of it where the helper's summoned but not dismissed. And that means that just wastes a few seconds. You have to go through the animations. It's not the end of the world if it happens, it just kind of sucks if it does.
Yeah.
Either way we do this, because we don't need Jet anymore. We need something a little more battle-friendly. So we did Plasma. If you've played this game or you've played Air Ride, you probably know how this works. If you don't, matching the D-pad will charge up the attack. You kind of just build up static, and this does a lot of damage at the cost of matching like crazy to actually do it, and also slowly dying because these things are kind of annoying. That's what I'm talking about, the reactor. Sailor D over there decides like, but what if Kirby just sends some lasers into it? And Vol's like, wait, don't say that! And then I missed.
Aww.
yeah, these lasers, that's the only way you can hurt it. It's otherwise technically invincible. And the stage's not really having it right now. That's fine, though. Okay, there's two. Cannon's gonna fire its thing. Pretty much the main thing of this fight is just make sure you do things quickly and kind of cancel out. The laser, for example, has to keep going up and down. If you hit it with Plasma's charge attacks, you can get rid of it and save some time that way. The little fire gates will also go way quicker if you hit them with like this attack. And this is the last auto solar that we have to worry about. It's a kind of slow one. But short version, they're still freaking out, and the ship is going to fall. It's done. There's too much damage.
Oops.
And they're talking about evacuating and running.
Oh no.
It's kind of what they're trying, but also they kind of just like, actually no, we want to stay and fight with you. And Medline's actually really thankful for this. He's like, thank you. Like he's actually a real class act towards his men, and it's kind of admirable. So they do one last stand up here. Unfortunately, we have plasma, and nothing really stands up to that. So they're just like, okay, we're done, we're leaving, goodbye. While Midnight, on the other hand, is like, okay, fine, I'm gonna fight. And we're gonna grab this sword, but we don't want it. Take your sword back. We have a better option.
Just window shopping.
This is the equivalent of taking a sword to probably like a fight that you really shouldn't be taking a sword to. And Midnight's actually okay. Okay, Midnight started not liking that and just decided to get things to overdrive. It almost hits me around for that. Midnight, by the way, isn't done if you thought he was. Because now we need to get the hell out of here, because otherwise this ship is going down with us, and Medline's trying to make sure that happens. So this is his last attempt while flying. And if it wasn't for Wheelie, we would be in trouble. Thankfully we have Wheelie, and Wheelie is fast, so we just kind of get through this obstacle course that Midnight's trying to get us through. We fly up the ship, the halberd goes into the water. We'll see that in Sweet Swine. Trust me, that makes sense in context.
I actually haven't seen too many Kirby speedruns myself, so this has been quite a journey for me to watch.
And we're actually almost done here. This is Milky Wishes. The big gimmick of it is you can't copy abilities.
Oh, cool.
Like these enemies here, they're flashing like they do something, they actually don't. Instead, what you'll grab, or what's called the Copy Essence Deluxe, and just gives you permanent access to them. So for example, if we lose Jet, we can actually just press X, select Jet, and get it back right away. It's probably the safest sub-game because ability loss is almost meaningless. And we can also just grab exactly what we need to get through the game. So we grab Jet here. That's why we start here in Sky High. And this is the first time we actually see Fracto, because this is normally in Spring Breeze. And that was Fracto. Yeah, it doesn't put up a whole lot of a fight this time. Yeah, somebody mentions that the halberd is free. Yes, the halberd does show up later anyways. It does come back. Or at the very least, it gets rebuilt, because the original one shows up in Sweet Squad as one of the levels later. But yeah, as before, Jet continues to be our best friend throughout this game. Also, we just totally hit lava and lost our ability. That's fine. We just press S and we get it back, like I said. ability loss really doesn't hurt us too much in this one. Oh, I didn't need to do that. Why did I do that? Also, I hope you like hearing the invincibility music, because this is the one game where it shows up like 3 times.
It's a bop. I like it.
I mean, Kirby also moves faster. It helps a lot. Okay, we're done. Kind of navigate through the corners, navigate through this. Okay, we're... Oh yeah, by the way, for some reason, Kirby's invincible coming out of the cannons. Luckily, Pizza Hut, as we have called it a few times, wasn't too bad this time. We'll see if Chameleon Arm's gonna be nice. Okay, Chameleon Arm stayed low on the ground, which is what I was hoping for. And then it didn't want to cooperate. That's fine.
I love the little fountain screen. It's so pretty.
Yeah, I kind of feel like every planet has some sort of fountain of dreams, and this is the only game that really shows that concept.
Yeah, it's so cute.
Not really sure why it does it, but it is a neat thing. So now we're going through basically the mechanical planet. It is very reminiscent of the game of Revenge of the Night that we just went through. And here's the last piece of candy that we're going to grab for the run. Because, yeah, this one we don't have to deal with running through the spikes and fire. We're trying to navigate through them. Now, this elevator has different mini-bosses on each side. We only have to deal with 2 of them. This first one's here. This one's actually guarded one of our other mid abilities for the run. So, welcome back to Plasma. We'll be using that for boss fights now. And the other is right here, because this one's actually leads to the door. By the way, I hope you liked Heavy Lobster, because somehow it's back. And that is me getting hit with flamethrower. Great. And getting hit twice. Yeah, that's pretty much the main, the big thing of this run is it's pretty much a combination. You'll see Jefffer moving around through the stages, and then Plasma to kill the bosses more quickly. Not the only ability we'll be grabbing though. There's one here that we actually really want, and that's because of what comes up later. Also, I hope you like watching Quick Kills with Jet, because this is the biggest stage for that. There are 4 mini bosses we have to go through. Ideally, we do this to all of them. Okay, there's 2. We don't need bombs, so we're just gonna leave it. Okay, can we get this one? This is a little bit trickier. Okay, we got it. We got rid of both of them.
Nice.
And there's Hammer. That's gonna be very useful later. It is a special tool that'll help us out. By the way, did I say you can actually you can't copy abilities? I slightly lied. If it comes out from the start, that can be re-inhaled and copied. Anything else can't be.
Do you have a favorite ability?
Beam. Unfortunately, Beam is slow, so we don't grab it.
But I bet it looks good.
I mean, Kirby gets a neat little hat, neat little gesture hat, and the Beam does like electrical attacks. It's honestly a really fun ability. It's just not very good for a run.
Right, that's fair.
I see somebody also as a person of culture was Heavy Lobster. I should have totally done that. Oh, wait a minute, that's right. It's not in this version. That's why I didn't do it. Yeah, the music they use for it in Super Ultra is really good. I want to say it came from the anime first, if I remember it right, like.
Wait, time out. There's an anime too?
There is. How good it is depends on your perspective.
I'm finding out all kinds of things about Kirby today.
Yeah, there was an anime for it, and I think it went for like 100 episodes overall.
Oh my gosh. That's a lot.
Perception on it tends to vary a little bit. Although most do find it kind of cheesy in a decent way, though.
Classically cheesy, I'm sure.
And we have this little maze here. There's the beam essence, by the way. For some reason, it's in the water. I mean, I don't know why. But it also is out of the way. You have to basically go through that, go through a door, and then reset. That resets the room, and then you have to go through the room the right way.
So definitely don't have time for that in a speedrun.
No, not unless you're doing 100%, where you do have to grab every hobby essence.
Do you run 100% as well?
I have not, but I do want to learn it.
Something that maybe you'll attempt in the future. Cool.
Yeah, the big things is you have to go through more of the more the sub games. You have to go through the two that we don't do is Spring Breeze, which is kind of a tutorial,
okay.
and also like a remix version of Kirby Dream Land on Game Boy. The other one is Gourmet Race, which is you basically do a race / competitive eating contest with Team DDD.
That's so good.
It's actually surprisingly fun, but it's not what we have to do in 80%, so we just don't bother. And even in those ones, oh, that actually knocked it out of me. I couldn't see that. That's fine. That's fine. I will just spin it back, no problem, and we'll finish through the stage. Floria has this neat little seasonal gimmick. That's what each of these doors goes through. So it's alternate between spring, summer, fall, winter. And the fall one leads to the end, and here's Twinwoods again, and we're just gonna do what we did last time, because although we have plasma and we can just do attacks that way, it can be a little bit slower if you don't completely get your inputs right. Unfortunately, we don't really get to see much of it because it's just like skim through the seasons, go through a few sections, and then skip seasons again. This one you'll get to see a little bit more. Half Moon here is definitely the hardest stage of the game. And we're gonna try to play as much over as we can, just it's not fun, and that start beat totally just messed me up. Okay, that is fine. Let's just play this a little bit carefully, get jet back, and get hit by the virus part on the way down. Exactly as I planned. Gotta remove a bunch of mine parts, but we don't worry too much. The trolley here can go through these pets. If we didn't have that, we would have to use hammer for those too. Thankfully, that's not the case. Also, this room is not pleasant. There's an easy way through it. There's a warsaw right at the start that'll just get you through very safely, very easily. Or you can do the fun way, which is navigate through a bunch of electrical balls and then do a mini boss fight at the end. Okay then. Normally Kawasaki does not go that way. And now we have this little lovely room, lots of shots, there's lots of naughties for some reason, and a few borders for good measure. Then we fly up into water. It makes sense in context. And you remember I grabbed camera earlier. This is why. I hope you like computer virus, because we fight it twice. Also, hammer flip is really busted. I got the first attack. And I believe... No, that's it powering up. That's fine. If it flashes like that, it does... For the knight, it does one of two things. Either it powers up its attacks to do more damage, or it starts guarding, and it takes less. You don't want it to guard. It takes a lot less damage, and hammer flips... Even hammer flip doesn't do that much. And the dragon just picked one of the longer attacks. That's fine. We'll just hit it again. It's gone. And that's really all we ever grab hammer for.
I think it was worth it.
It is, because you can just you only spend a few seconds ideally killing the mini boss and grabbing it, and then we just use it for that. It speeds the fight a lot. And we pretty much are done with both that and Jet. Jet, because we don't need it anymore for movement. That was the last stage. And we don't need Hammer after that, because Hammer is absolutely not that useful. But we've done the thing, we got all the stars, we talked to Nova. What you don't think is Mark's backstabs us, knocks us away, and is like, I want to take over Popstar. So Nova knows to do that, and suddenly we're like, oh no, and yeah. So we're in Nova now, and we're going to deal with that the only way we know how, by going on a giant rampage.
Of course.
And unfortunately, I really didn't even be taking damage here, so I might have to change strats for the fight that's coming up. There's two ways to go about it. There's a fast method where you don't have to wait for anything, and there's a safe one that I tend to do that takes a lot longer, but it's much safer in this kind of context. Colliding anything does random damage, and it can do up to half of Kirby's health, and it's very easy to just straight die for it. So I don't want to do that. We're just gonna play this safer. And for that, I do a little bit to that first one, and then I leave it alone. Okay, I got the strat. Alright, so now it's time to start going back around. We have to wait for it. I was hoping I didn't have to do that, but then I messed up, so that's fine. And we'll finish this one off. And this is the one we would have gotten to if I did the fast strat. And poor Nova's already seen better days. That's not what we're doing, though. Now we have to deal with Mars, who's a little bit more powerful, and time will be coming up when he's defeated. If you're quick enough, you can actually take it out before it even does this attack, but it's really hard to do. This should do it, and time.
Ooh.
So that's Mark's, which is our freedom up, and I'm sure you remember the meme of Nova, where it just ends in this for whatever reason.
Well, great job, Dark Soul. Do you have any shout-outs or anything that you'd like to say?
Yeah, if you want to see more of this, I do stream on Twitch. It's darksol88. I've been playing through Forgotten Land since it's released. I definitely plan to speedrun that. I'm also doing Meta Nightmare for a series relay that's coming up next month.
Nice.
Which, on that note, if you're curious about learning any of these runs, go to speedrun.com/Kirby. We do have a server for most of the series. A lot of us, myself included, would be absolutely happy to help you learn stuff.
That's awesome.
This game is also really fun to learn. Really fun movement, but it is really tough to get good at.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time to show it off for us here at the GOTM marathon. So thank you so much, Dark Soul.
I think World Record is still several minutes faster than even my best time.
You know what?
I forget what it is offhand, but it's...
But you're making progress.
Faster. Yeah, it's definitely faster and definitely even more impressive than anything I've done.
Well, I think your run was very impressive today because I wouldn't have been able to do it at all.
What time did I get? Did I not actually look at the stream?
Yeah, let's see. It was a 42:23.
Not too bad considering the strap I had to do.
Well, thank you so much, Dark Soul. If all of you want to stick around, we will be right back with a speedrun of a short hike.
It's also a short run.
It is, so don't go anywhere too far.